Hi, Floyd here. Today we're going to be talking about which type of ball is best for contact juggling. I've got several examples up here ranging from just tennis balls and oranges all the way up to, 3.5-inch acrylics and the Sil-X. While we talk about these, there's going to be four key issues that I'll bring up with each ball. And those are tell marks, the size of the ball, its weight, and the texture. Now that could be the surface texture or just how the ball grips. First up, we're going to have the tennis ball. Tennis balls can be found just about everywhere. If they have a sporting goods section, it'll sell tennis balls. You can get 3 of them for about $2. And they come in a handy tube, which is fun for juggling tricks. Now, although tennis balls are great for 3-ball juggling, they're possibly the worst ball you can buy for contact juggling. And the first reason is because it has tell marks. Tell marks are any mark on the ball that would break the illusion when you're trying to do an isolation, such as that. See, you can see that the ball is spinning. This is something you don't want when you're contact juggling, at least when you're performing. The second issue is the ball's size. Although this would be an appropriate size to do multi-ball with, it's just a very, very small ball that would get lost in your hands if you're trying to do single ball work. The lower size means that you're going to have a lower surface area, and the more surface area you have with the ball, the easier it is to control it. Since this has the lowest surface area, it's kind of hard to control. Which brings me to the other point. The ball is really light. It has no weight to it at all. Because there's no weight to it at all, it's kind of hard to stall. It's very difficult to do just about anything with it. Like I feel nervous, like I'm going to sling it just across the room. You don't want that in any ball you use. Also, possibly the worst point of anything for this ball is its surface texture. It's covered in a fur, which means you wouldn't be able to do any multi-ball work with it. The next easiest ball that anybody can get a hold of. This is an orange. I bought it at a Whole Foods store. It's organic and quite possibly the most expensive orange you'll ever buy. It cost me $1.50. Its size is perfect for contact juggling. It's about 3 inches, a little over 3 inches in fact, and it has a pretty decent weight to it. Its weight means that I can contact juggle out with it pretty easily. Quite a few contact jugglers will be able to admit to using an orange to practice contact juggling, since they're so cheap, and realistically, if you're eating enough fruits and vegetables throughout your week, you're going to have these on hand anyway. The problems come with when you notice that it has a couple tell marks on it. They go bad after several days, so you wouldn't want to perform with it too long. After a few drops, you're going to get juice everywhere. So those are the few obvious problems with it. The not so obvious ones are the size of the ball means you can't use it for multi-ball work. Its surface means you can't use it for multi-ball work. And they don't have a consistent shape. This is the most round orange I could find, and it's even not that round. Still a good ball to practice with if you just have a free day and you want to practice a few little grip isolations. And if you forget your equipment, they're easy to pick up. The next ball we have up is a Russian juggling ball. These are really expensive for a practice ball, and they're too small to work with. Although you can contact juggle with it because of its weight, it also has some beans in it, so it has a dead drop, which is important, but we'll be able to find that in other contact juggling balls. The next ball up we have for practicing is a stage ball. This is a run-of-the-mill 4-inch stage ball. It cost me about $9, and I got it at renegadejuggling.com. It's a great store. Stage balls are made of a thick rubber and are hollow in the center. This gives them a dead drop, so it's not going to bounce too far away after you drop it while performing, so you can get back into the performance. They are offered in a variety of colors, so you can pick the brightest color you want for your performance. They also have very few tell marks. It does have a little seam that runs down the center, but you can hardly notice it at a distance. Because it's made out of rubber, though, you do have a problem with that. It will pick up just about any dirt, debris, oil, or even ink. So you don't want to leave this on a printed sheet of paper, or else it'll pick up all the information from your dinner receipt, like mine did. It has a perfect size for contact juggling. It's large enough and has a good surface area that you can do body rolls with it. Its weight is really the issue. It's really light. Like, it just tosses around. Now, this is solved in one of the later balls, the Sil-X, but if you just have a stage ball, it's not a big enough problem that you can't contact juggle with it. It also has a good texture for juggling. It's a smooth surface, it's grippy so it's easy to catch, and it doesn't bounce too far since it has a dead drop. The next ball up is going to be the Sil-X. The Silix is one of my favorite balls right now. It's just like the stage ball. Just exactly the same material, it's squishy, has a dead drop, but its dead drop is far more dead because it's filled with a silicone gel inside of it. It's a little bit more expensive than the stage ball. I spent about $9 on this one, and I spent $12 on this one from jugglingstore.com. It's a really good ball. Because of the silicone gel in it, it adds a lot of weight, which was the primary problem with this one. So it's very easy to juggle with, and you can even do ISOs with it. I'd recommend this ball to just about anybody starting out in contact juggling. Next up we have what everybody wants, is the acrylics. First up we have a 2.75 inch acrylic. I have small hands, so I need a smaller ball. But normally if you're going to start with contact juggling, you'll want about a 3-inch ball or larger. If you're doing single ball work, you'll definitely want closer to a 3.5 inch or a 4-inch ball. So around these sizes. If you're doing multi-ball work, you're going to want 3-inch or smaller. The ball's weight is perfect for contact juggling. It has a smooth surface area so the ball doesn't rub up against each other and prevent you from doing multi-ball work. They look fantastic when they're clear or any other color. And their weight's not too bad. However, if you were to get a larger ball, this one weighs about a pound. It's very heavy. It does bounce quite a lot if you were to drop it on concrete, and any marks on it cause quite a bit of damage and scratches. You're not going to want to practice head stalls with this or neck stalls. You can knock yourself unconscious in a best case scenario and kill yourself in a worst case scenario. They're a good ball though, you just don't want to try too much multi-ball work with larger balls like this. They're so heavy, this one weighing about a pound, that you'll cause repetitive strain injury. When you start feeling your muscles get warm in your hand, you want to switch to a different hand because you don't want to, seriously injure yourself for any amount of time. That just keeps you from practicing. So, in conclusion, if you're just starting out in contact juggling, I'd recommend either of the stage balls. This one will run you about $8 or $9. This one will run you about $12 to $15. The Sil-X is great. I would recommend it if you have the cash. If you don't have the cash, you can always pick up an orange and just practice a few body rolls. That's understandable. Never buy the tennis balls. Acrylics, when you're going out to get them, you can get them at a wide variety of stores. If you're trying to get a clear acrylic, you're going to want to make sure that you read the site thoroughly and that they offer ultra clear or super clear or 100% acrylic, or they have any number of names for it. Just try not to get a mixed resin ball or something that might be gray or opaque in the center, because that would give us a tell mark and you kind of ruin the illusion. Also, make sure that the ball is sized appropriately to your hand and that it's not too heavy. If it's too heavy for you, you're not going to want to contact juggle with it because you're just going to, cause strain injury to your hand.